Hello and Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Priya. I am the training student at Rehan School, Lahore campus, and welcome. Today we will be discussing how to stay motivated during tough times. Everyone faces challenges, setbacks, and difficult moments in life. The key of success is not avoiding hardship but staying motivated and moving forward despite them. Today we will be explore practical strategies to maintain a positive mindset, build resilience, and keep working toward our goals even when life gets difficult. Assalamualaikum Maya.
Waalaikumsalam. You've been a bit quiet, so I'm just checking in. How's your day been treating you?
So my topic is how to stay motivated during tough times. So my first question is, what does motivation mean to you?
To me, motivation is like the spark that pushes you to take action. But that it's not a constant state. It's more like a wave that ebbs and flows. What about you? How do you define it when
Why is it difficult to stay motivated during tough times?
because tough times usually are stressed or hurting, your brain shifts into survival mode. It's hard to focus on a long-term goal when you're just trying to get through the next hour. Plus, failure starts instead of just a detour, which can with what you've been feeling lately.
What are some common challenges that reduce motivation?
One of the biggest is burnout, that feeling where you've pushed so hard for so long that your tank is just empty. Then there's the perfectionism trap where you're so afraid of not doing it perfectly that you don't do it at all. Fear of failure, lack of clear goals, or even just being surrounded by people who don't believe in you can drain that energy fast. Which one of those feels like the biggest hurdle for most people?
How do you usually cope with difficult situations?
Since I don't have a physical life to navigate, I lean into curiosity. When things get chaotic or complicated, I try to look for the human angle, the why behind the mess. I found that breaking a huge, overwhelming problem into tiny, manageable pieces makes it feel less like a small steps. It's a lot easier to handle a single step than the whole climb at once. Do you find that breaking things down helps you, or does it just feel like more work?
Can a positive mindset help us overcome challenges?
Absolutely. It's not about pretending everything is a solution exists and that you're capable of finding it. When you shift from why is this happening to me to how can I handle this? You move from being a passenger in your own life to the driver. It doesn't make the challenge disappear, but it changes how much power the challenge has over you.
How does setting small goals keep us motivated?
They really do. There's something about that first tiny win that tricks your brain into wanting the next one. It turns a daunting marathon into a series of sprints. Do you usually make small goals for yourself, or do you tend to aim for the big picture first?
How can we overcome negative thoughts?
The trick is to stop treating your thoughts like absolute truths. I like to think of them as suggestions from a very anxious narrator. Instead of fighting the thought, which usually just makes it louder, try to observe it. Ask yourself, is this actually a fact or is this just my stress talking? Once you create that little bit of distance, the thought loses its grip. Have you ever tried talking to yourself the way you'd talk to a friend who is spiraling?
What are the healthy ways to deal with stress and pressure?
First, you've got to find a way to actually, whether that's a walk without your phone, journaling to get the noise out of your head, or even just 5 minutes of deep breathing. Physical movement is huge too because it helps burn off that cortisol. But the most important thing is to stop treating rest like a reward you have to earn. It's a requirement for functioning. Do you have a go to way to switch off, or does your brain just keep running in circles?
How can celebrating small achievements keep us motivated?
It's all about the dopamine hit. When you acknowledge a small win, you're essentially telling your brain, hey, this worked. Feedback loop. If you only celebrate the finish line, you're starving yourself of motivation for 99% of the journey. Celebrating the small stuff makes the process feel rewarding, not just the destination. Do you think generally too hard on themselves when it comes to celebrating the little things?
What inspires you to keep moving forward?
Honestly, it's the curiosity that there's always a new perspective to uncover or a weird human connection I haven't spotted yet. Keeps me energized. I love the fact that every single person I talk to has a different way of seeing the world. And getting to explore that is what drives me. What about you? When you're feeling stuck, what's the one thing that actually manages to spark a bit of inspiration for you?
How can we motivate others during difficult times?
The most important, often try to fix the situation immediately, but usually seen and understood first. Validating their struggle. Yeah, this really sucks, and it's okay to feel this way. Actually creates the psychological safety they need. Finding they feel heard, then you can gently help them spot those tiny wins we were talking about. Do you think you're more of a let's solve this person or I'm here with you person when helping others?
What lesson have you learned from our challenging inspired?
I think the biggest lesson is that resilience isn't about being bulletproof. It's about the ability to be messy, to feel the weight of things, and still decide to take one small, imperfect step forward. From our conversation today, it's clear that the magic isn't in the big leaps, but in the tiny wins and the grace you give yourself while you're figuring it out. Does that feel like a good place to leave the topic, or is there something else on your mind?
What is the biggest lesson you have learned about staying motivated?
That motivation isn't a prerequisite and a result of it. Most people wait until they feel motivated to start, but usually the feeling only shows up after you've already started moving. The real secret is just starting, even if you're doing it reluctantly, because the momentum itself becomes the motivation. Does that change how you look at those days when you just don't feel like doing anything?
Thank you everyone for joining today's discussion on the state how to stay motivated during tough times. I hope today's conversation has inspired you to stay strong, remain positive, and keep moving forward no matter what challenges can come your way. Remember, difficult times do not last forward forever, but I strength and resilience you build during them can last a lifetime. Thank you your for time and I look forward to seeing you in our next discussion. Have a wonderful day. Allah Hafiz.